Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to lesson 35 of Quran for Absolute Beginners. Now, today's lesson is going to deal with the methodology of stopping at full stops or periods. And the full stop in the Quran or periods in the Quran are signified by a number of different methods. The most common method is this round circle over here. That is basically an ayah or the end of a verse whenever you come across that, and usually it has a number inside it to indicate what number ayah it is in that particular surah. And sometimes you will get letters in the middle of the sentence. This is also an indication of a stop sign. Like here, you have this letter ba right here in the middle of the sentence. So the methodology of stopping at all of them is the same, but it does vary according to the letter that you are reading. So an ordinary letter, for example, you would just say the beginning sound of the word. Okay, so for example, you would read this أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم Jim. So even though there's a kasra there, you would say Jim. So the beginning sound of the letter is going to be pronounced, but not the actual vowel sound. Okay? Same thing here. قُلْ هُوَ اللَّهُ أَحَدٌ أَحَدٌ. So you have the dal, you're stopping there, so therefore you would just pronounce the beginning sound of the letter and you would not pronounce dun. Min khawf. Min khawf. Okay, here it's a little bit different. The next one, you would pronounce this whenever you get two fathas, or any time actually, whenever you get an alif at the end of the sentence, you would pronounce the actual alif. You would not pronounce the two fathas, you would not say al-fa-fan, but you would say al-fa-fa, al-fa-fa. So the alif is always to be pronounced. And there's another example of that right there. Another thing you need to keep in mind, whenever you get a round ta like this is known as ta marbuta, you would turn that into a ha when you stop at it. So the word is actually tuqatan, but because there's a stop sign there, you would say tuqah, tuqah. And here also, tayyibah, tayyibah. Now that is different to this long ta. This long ta, the ta will actually be pronounced. So this is a round ta, that turns into a ha. But this long ta, you would actually pronounce the ta. So you would stop here, samawat, samawat. And here, al-khayrat, al-khayrat. The ta is pronounced. وَيُرْبِ الصَّدَقَاتِ. So the ta is pronounced when it's in the long form. Another way of stopping here is when you get this empty ya and before it there is two fatha, you would stop exactly as if you were stopping on an alif. So this will be pronounced puwa, puwa, adha. Okay, so if you're reading it without stopping, it will be adhan, but when you stop on it, it will turn into adha. When you're stopping on a hamza with two fathas also, you would say assuming there's an alif there. وَنِسَاءَ لَيْسُوا سَوَاءً أَخَاهُمْ صَالِحًا. There's the alif that we mentioned earlier. When you get a sukoon like this, then obviously that is read in its original form. Sometimes you'll come across a stop which is after a sukoon. So what you will do in this case is you will also make this the last letter sukoon. So it becomes إِذَا يَسْرَ, يَسْرَ. So this is sukoon. The ra is also sukoon because you're not pronouncing the kasra underneath it. So it's yasr. Here, sabr, al-fajr. So basically that sums up what kinds of stops you will come across, and of course this you will understand with practice. And the kids that I've always taught, they get a kick out of reading this because it's something that they hear all the time in Salat, and by now you should also be able to work it out. It's okay if you just take away the wow there. It is وَالْحَمْدُ لِلَّهِ رَبِّ الْعَالَمِينَ. And of course, in the beginning of the Quran, it's Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. And here there's an addition of a wow, which is somewhere in the middle of the Quran. Walhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. So this basically completes the lessons in the Quran itself. There's only one more lesson to go, and we will complete that next time. And hopefully, you have achieved the goal of actually reading the Quran. Inshallah, I pray that Allah gives you the tawfiq to do it in a way that is pleasing to Him, and hopefully, I will get the reward for the efforts also. Jazakumullah khairan. Assalamu alaikum.